Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Remarkably You. And today I'll be interviewing Prawal. So, Prawal has set up Makers Duniya. And what is Makers Duniya? Makers Duniya is this institute where he teaches kids about artificial intelligence, coding, 3D printing, robotics, drone manufacturing and making, and electronics, and even games and a lot more stuff here. Now he's not. So we're in Dehradun. This is his institute in Dehradun. But we're not just doing this. He's not just doing this in Dehradun. He's opened labs similar to this one in across about 75 to 80 schools in Uttarakhand, and he's restricted to this to Uttarakhand as of now. He's covered about 9 out of the 11 districts in Uttarakhand, and trained, educated about 30,000 students, right? So that's a little bit of a backdrop on who Prawal is and what this is about. What do we cover? We cover answers to a few questions. Questions like, how can a student get out of depression? There are many IITs out there, even other from other competitive exams, that when they don't make it, they get really depressed, right? How do you get out of that? How do you start up a business in Dehradun, okay? Or be down? How do you compete with the big players? There's deep pockets and competition. How to compete with them? How do you get to do what you love? And what are the opportunities out there for kids? Ranging from ages, starting from 5 years of age right up to college kids. So not kids anymore, but yeah. So these are some of the things that we talk about in this interview. So sit back and enjoy, folks. So good morning, Prawal.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
And thank you for taking the time. Welcome to Remarkably You.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
You beat IIT Roorkee, guys. What meaning does that statement have for you?
Yeah, so that was actually the starting of my, we can say, a robotics career, in short. Although I was a student that time, in my college days, I was in, if I remember exactly, in the second year. And we participated in a tech fest held at Pantnagar University. So there was an event called Pick and Place Robotics Challenge. So basically in that event, you have to make a robot. And there is entire arena where you have to pick and place different shapes object at their different places. And the team which completes the entire event in the best possible time wins without any penalties. So for the first time, any team from Dehradun and IIT Roorkee were the finalists. And it has been the history that always IIT Roorkee used to win that particular event.
Okay.
But for the first time, any other team except IIT Roorkee won that event. And
it was your team and it was you.
Yes. So we made the robot. Entire robot was made out of wood in our mechanical lab of our college. So it was all, there was nothing except motors. There was nothing which was ready-made from the market.
Wow.
Each and every part was made from a wood. So we used wood, rubber bands, wires, and all those stuff to make a robot. A big robot it was. It would easily pick and place anything with any shape, maybe a ball, maybe a box, or any shape, cylinder, any shape you give it, it will cleanly pick it up and place it wherever you want.
And the IT guys, these guys are made out of what? Out of wood?
Yeah, so they are having more resources as compared to our normal colleges in Dehradun. So definitely they were using a bit of advanced motors, and the structure was definitely made of wood, and the base was metal. So
few resources, basically resourcefulness.
Yes.
Resources in that case.
Right.
Coming in with better resources, better name, better brand, and so on and so forth. But
yeah, so if in case, if we talk about anything, if in case you have the better availability to the resources, definitely you have the better chances to make something great.
Yeah.
So that lacks in the most of the private engineering colleges, but definitely those things are nowadays. I'm really shocked. If I remember back in my engineering days, if I'll talk about my engineering days, somewhere around 2016 when I passed out. So till 2016, if I remember, most of the people who were doing engineering in IITs were definitely taking some jobs in the MNCs and going outside, or maybe if in case they're working in India, they are just working as an employee in the MNCs. This is a drastic change that I've seen recent days in the market, that now the IITian guys are developing their own products and they're working on creating some new solutions.
Right.
If I guess you might be aware, but in the recent times, one product from IIT Guwahati guys have made a drone. It's a big, huge size drone.
Okay.
With 2 propellers.
Okay.
And it works on fuel.
Wow.
So normally we make drones which are working on batteries.
Battery, yeah.
They made it on fuel.
I was not aware of
And
that.
it can fly straight for 3 hours.
Wow.
And it can deliver a payload of 30 kgs.
Gosh.
It's a huge drone. And this is the change which I'm seeing in the market. Similarly, IIT Madras guys, they have made a Hyperloop in the future for traveling. So the Hyperloop, a small, you can say a car-like something, it runs on something like a metro rail, and it travels on, currently the prototype they have made, it travels on 750 kilometers per hour speed.
Wow.
So these are the things which are happening now in India, and by the students. There's a big change. Startups are coming on. Innovations are being made in India now. And there's very less amount of, I would say, the section of the society which really looks now to the Western world. Most of them are now working for India.
Yeah, brains are there in India. You look at all the big Google or Microsoft or all these guys, they have Indians heading that.
Right.
You look at the Vice President of America, there's an Indian heading that. UK, the Prime Minister's lead. So there's a lot of, what I'm saying really is there's a lot of talent in India. I think resources are getting better and better. The availability of them, the whole Make in India movement, that's also getting a lot of people to do stuff. And I think the good news is that it's not only the IIT guys that can do stuff. Like what your little competition also showcased and what you've started up. 75 labs? Labs across 75 schools, right?
So we have 75 partnered school clients with us, working with us all around Uttarakhand.
And you set up your labs in all of these?
Yeah, so most of them have labs. Some of they organize clubs or the camps with us. So these are the partner clients. But yeah, out of them, 80% have the lab setup.
Wow.
But 20% might be taking club services or maybe camp services from our side.
Amazing.
Yeah, so the smaller schools, maybe the schools which are up till grade 5 only. So they don't feel a requirement of setting up the entire lab. So they take camps or the clubs from us, maybe a weekly session or something like that. But yeah, most of the schools are having labs.
And you've covered about 9 districts across 11?
So there are in total 11 districts in Uttarakhand as of now. So out of those 9 districts, we have our lab setups or our clients over there. And most probably within this month, it will come to 10 districts out of 11.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations, man. And which is the toughest place to get to?
Yeah, so 2 districts which takes most time to travel. So it's Bageshwar and Pithoragarh.
Okay.
So if we talk about, if in case our main setup is, main head office is in Dehradun, then these 2 places are the most difficult to travel.
So Bageshwar takes what, like 10 hours to get there?
So no, Bageshwar would take more, I guess. It takes around 5 hours to Rudrapur, 3 hours then to Almora, and then again 3 or 4 hours to Bageshwar. So it will take around 12-13 hours.
Wow.
On a bike.
On a bike. And you do most of this on a bike?
I do everything on a bike.
You do everything on a bike? Wow.
Everything on a bike. Because if you have bike, especially a bike, so you can travel faster. You won't get stuck in traffic.
You were just telling me before the interview how you went by Badrinath, right?
Yeah, so day before yesterday when I came from Badrinath, so the cars which left at the same time when I left from the Badrinath, They came the next day, and I reached in somewhere around 11 hours. So definitely on the four-wheeler, it takes more time. Also, if in case we plan to, so Uttarakhand is not at all a easy place to work at all, because there's no public transport.
Right.
Mostly, if we see the schools are not in the center of the city.
Right.
They are on the peripheral part of the city.
Right.
And in mountains, if we talk about the peripheral, even if it's 10 kilometers from the city, it takes around, in the plain area, it's compared to somewhere around 25 to 30 kilometers in a plain area. So if in case you are living in a town and you have to travel to a school which is 30 kilometers from your city in a plain area, you might get a public transport.
Right.
But in case you'll get Ola or Uber, or maybe Rapido or something. You'll get something in the if in case you're working in that. But in mountains, there's no Rapido, there's no Uber, there's no Ola, there's no general public transport. There's nothing. If in case you just visit to a place thinking that you might get some public transport over there, then you might have to wait and ask to get a lift.
Yeah.
Somehow somebody will drop you to that place, and then maybe you are able to work. And in our field, we are working with schools, and we only have morning 8 till afternoon 2. That's the time slot when we have to work and we have to execute.
Right.
After 2, our day ends. We won't be able to meet any school, or we won't be able to deal with any clients. So we have that time period limitation. Right. So that's why I opted for traveling on a bike in mountains. Nice. Saves time, and
you're also passionate about it. Right?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely, of course. See you smile when you say that. Okay, so I want to get into the school model a little bit of how you go into the schools and what you do there, and are you training the staff or not? But before we do that, if you could just give us a small overview of how your journey has been from, because what I also hear and in our chats before the interviews is that you got into this at a very early age. The whole robotics idea and that whole game, you got into it at a very early age. So, if you can just give us a bit of an overview of where you started, what's the journey been like, and how you've got to here.
Yes. So, first of all, I did my school educations from Kota, Rajasthan. Then from my college, I came here in Dehradun. So during my college days, because also I opted for engineering because I wanted to go in defense, as I told you earlier also. So I wanted to go in defense, and for going in the defense, the most preferable option is if you are an engineer, you get a better rank in defense, and it's as compared to any other branch, it's easier to get on an officer rank in the defense. So for that purpose, I opted as I wanted to do a BTech, and because I wanted to do the BTech, so science and maths naturally came my subjects, which are anyhow involved in robotics. So during my college days, we used to organize these tech fest in our colleges also, and we used to go in other tech fest like the one IIT Roorkee one that I told you. So while making those robots, I started feeling very interested in designing all that stuff, and so programming was never a good asset of mine. I was very good. I'm still very good in mechanical stuff. I can shape a body. I can design a structure, or maybe I can make huge projects.
Right.
But when it comes to the coding, it's not a strong point. It's not my strong point because I was never interested in computers.
You're really good at coding.
No, so I was never interested in computers, and coding is one of my weakest point. But so as we moved forward from the mechanical robotics, we came to the automation, then AI. Naturally, it was a demand of the market, and anyhow, everything is getting automated, so you need to learn robotics. So I did some courses on YouTube, learn robotics on my own, and now I am able to do a fair bit of robotics, but still I would say I'm not the best in robotics. In the programming. So after that, when I completed my graduation at 2016, I took around 7 to 8 months to practice and to prepare myself to clear any defense exam. I cleared many written exams, but I failed in 3 SSBs. And that's the time when I realized that I would definitely create I will, maybe in the future, I'll clear some SSB.
How do you feel? I didn't make it.
So that time it used to feel really bad because it was my childhood dream. But now it's pretty much
So
fun.
what was the self-talk at that time? What was happening in your head at that time? When you say,
Yes, so
kya kar rahe hain, fail ho gaya, but
the difference is like if in case you're sitting and you're waiting for another paper and maybe for another SSB and still you're working and working, that time your mind is mostly blank and you'll get those thoughts. But in my case, after 6 to 7 months of preparation was when I was able to clear the returns easily. So I was knowing that I can now clear the returns. Rather than wasting time in more preparation, I should start earning something.
Okay.
So I went to one robotics academy in Gurgaon, and I joined as a robotics trainer, and I started some basic earning.
When SSB didn't happen, you saying that, hey, what else can I do? What is my strength? Is that what?
Yes, definitely. So during my college days, anyhow, I was working in robotics, and back in 2016, when I completed my graduation, I gave 6 to 7 months. So let's say about 2017, these things were still very new in the market. And especially,
I would say they're still very new in the market.
Yeah,
but a robotics idea.
Yes.
So back in 2016, must have been.
So the same stage in which Dehradun is right now might be at the same stage this Gurgaon or Delhi area was at that time.
Okay.
2017.
Wow.
So anyhow, Dehradun is somewhere around, I would definitely say 10 years behind any metro city.
Okay.
So that time it was very new thing. Very few people in the market who knew about robotics, and especially very, very, very few people who knew about robotics and were ready to have their career in a teaching line. Because if in case if you know about robotics, then you're technically good. You might be good in maybe programming, or maybe you might be good in some mechanical stuff or something. And there are very few technical people who will like to work as a teaching professional. Everyone who is technically good wants to work in industries and have a maybe very high earning career. So that's the difference. So there was a demand, and because I knew about robotics, so I opted for maybe some earning resource. And still at that time also, behind my mind, it was like, okay, I have to earn something. That's why I'm doing it. But still, I'll focus on SSBs, and one day I want to become an army officer. But that's the sad reality of the society also. Once you start earning, then everything around you start focusing on that only one thing, that money.
Money, okay.
So the money, once it starts coming, so everything you might have planned it goes on pending. And so I started in Gurgaon within 2 months on double the package. I went to Varanasi in one of the labs. So now the money became the factor, and all the focus was on money and to earn more and more. And by the time this passion related to defense, it was always there in my mind that I wanted. And as soon as I crossed 25 or 26 years of age, so that's the last I think you can apply for. That's the age limit. So went like that. But now when I started my own business, and when I got...
So how did you start your own business? So you were saying you were working, you were teaching and stuff, and
Right.
working for somebody else. But from there to make the shift into starting your own business?
Yeah, so one thing is, in teacher career, in India especially, there's a threshold. There's a threshold, and as per your age, definitely there's a threshold. So you'll get paid maybe, let's say 40, 50K per month. That's maximum if in case you are a physics or maybe a maths teacher in one of the prestigious schools of your city.
Right.
Most prestigious school.
Right.
That's the maximum cap.
Right.
Now, you keep on earning your experience. Maybe you are 10 years, 12 years, 15 years you have given to a particular
That has
school.
no area on the money.
Yeah. So then it might go to 60, 70 years, somewhere around that. And as a, especially as an engineer who wants to earn more and more, that thing was there always when we did engineering. And as a young generation, we don't want to give that much time to a particular organization to reach to that figure. And in teaching, you really don't have so many options. So that was also one of the main reasons that we opted to start a business, because there was one particular threshold. As per the 1 year experience, we were the maximum in the Indian market. Me and my friend, we were the two people who started the business. We were the maximum. We already reached to that limit, where that particular limit was paid to maybe 5 to 6 year experienced robotics trainers in Indian market. We were already on that limit. No other organization was ready to pay us more than that, because this is the threshold of the market. And we knew this thing will get stagnant for many, many years, because not that much paying capacity in India. So then we decided, let's run our own business, and especially run our own business in a place where there's very less competition and the future is bright. So we opted for that other.
So when you're taking this decision, so money is one influencer to get you to take the decision. But what about family? What about mentors? Was your family saying, hey, no, what are you doing? Go and get a job and stuff like that? And why I ask this is because a lot of times when I speak to people, whether I'm training or in my workshops or I'm coaching or in my podcasts, a lot of people come and tell me, my family wanted me to do it. Yesterday, in fact, I was talking to one of the commissioners, and he said, my family wanted me to get into engineering. I just wanted to do IAS from the word get-go, right? This last year he was having, and I think he's coming on to the show shortly. He said, but I just wanted to get into IAS. So I did engineering just because my father wanted me to do engineering, right? But then I realized that I'm not going to do this. And he says, and I did my IAS, I cleared it, and then he became an SDM and now a commissioner and stuff like that. But he's saying that time that I wasted studying is hard work, and going through the whole engineering process, he said I could have just used that same thing in the IAS. So what's it? So I think there are two questions of you. A, what was it like for you? Or did you not face any challenges? And I think the second is somebody getting into this whole business space. Not only is it business, it is something new in business, the whole robotic space, right? And then to compound that is also a place like Dehradun is not a place like Delhi. So if you could just talk to that a little bit.
Yes. So first coming to the family thing. So my family never supported business, and they don't even support now. Still, if I'll talk to my mother, she'll say it's better you get a job. So because I belong to a family who is not having any business background, So I'm the first one in my entire family, the prolonged family as well, that the person who is doing something like a business. My father, my grandfather, they were in railways. So there was this entire ecosystem in our family. You get maybe a stable job, you have a stable life, something like that. Pretty organized structure. And it was like I was the first one who opted for a business. So my dad used to encourage me, but still he was also very doubtful. He used to say, if in case you get a better opportunity, maybe a better job, you keep looking for it as well. But now my dad is in all favor with me, but my mother still has that thinking. Now it's, if in case you get a job, you should do a job.
So how did you manage it? Did you just say, no, I'm doing my own thing? How do you manage? How do you find the courage to manage that?
Yes. So
if I speak to somebody from a Western country like the US, then the same question perhaps wouldn't apply.
Right.
Because the family say you go do what you want.
Right.
But from the Indian setting, and then not only from the Indian setting, but from my Indian setting in a, let's say, in a non-metro, I don't want to call Dehradun a B-town, but I love Dehradun, but from a non-metro town, where the opportunities, exposure, everything is very limited. Then it becomes very rare.
Right. So Definitely, that attitude normally comes in, in my voice as well. That I'm doing something on my own. Let me do it. Okay, so I don't try to convince them now because it's been a long time since I've been trying to convince them. So, if in case now, so my small sister and my brother, they are also working with me now. They are also stable now. So most of the family has started realizing, okay, this person is working fine.
Nice.
He is stabilizing the other members of the family as well. Also, the greater advantage that I'm having, I never took a penny from my father for my business, nor from any other investor. Everything on my own. So that is something that I'm not trying to convince them, but they are getting convinced on their own that he is doing whatever he's doing on his own money. Whatever setup or whatever things he have is of his own money. So definitely he's doing something. Which
So
is
if you didn't take from an investor, if you didn't take from mom, dad, how did you start? I mean, that's amazing.
so we did a job for a year.
Yeah.
We collected some money. We invested that to open our company.
Right.
Then we used to live in one small room, and we didn't have any center like this till the last year. So this opened last year in the November only. Before that, we used to work only from our house, our rented room. We used to convince schools to set up some labs. We used to provide those materials. We used to provide those content curriculum to the schools. Then we started providing trainers to the school.
Yeah.
And slowly, that's how.
So what he says, you started off with a job. You got some money from there.
Right.
Then slowly saw how can you
Yes.
be resourceful. If you don't have the resources that people are giving, how can you demonstrate your resourcefulness?
Right.
I don't have those resources. And slowly, then.
Right. So in the first year of our business, we only had only one single school in the entire year. By the end of 2 years, we had hardly, I think, 3 to 4 schools. So things were not easy as it look now. It's very difficult. And if in case you're doing something on your own, totally on your own, no funding, nothing. And even if you don't belong to a background, so in that case, if in case you're doing a business, first 2 years are the most trickiest years of a business.
Right.
You survive that, most probably you'll survive your business.
Yeah.
So first 2 years, in some cases, I'll say 3 years as well. But if in case you're able to survive that starting period, most probably you'll survive your business. You'll learn everything.
Yeah.
If in case you're developing your own business, you'll yourself learn marketing, you'll yourself learn training, you'll yourself learn how to develop product maybe.
Right.
Everything you learn on your own. And once you learn everything, it's very easy to hire someone else, train them and make them do that.
Of course.
So only those people can really run a business who themselves know everything about their own business.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen in most of the cases. Like if in case somebody directly comes and try and run a family business,
Right.
and the business starts going down.
Yeah.
That's the reason, because somebody who came to run that family business might not be knowing each and everything about the business.
Yeah.
Each and everything about the business means sweeping the floor of your office in the starting days till the highest where your office is right now.
Right.
Everything you should be knowing.
For me, I remember struggling with what GST code and SAC code to put on the invoice.
Right.
And going crazy just trying to find that, and the client rejecting it. You've done the service, you've done the work, and the client is rejecting that over and over again.
Right.
And you're breaking your head asking this one, asking that one. And so, yeah, I get what you're saying. You've also spread your business quite a bit. I want to go a little bit into that and say the business development side, the sales side. So what are you relying on? Are you relying on going and meeting people and say, hey, this is what I do, give me some danda, right? Or are you relying on social media? So what is it that you're relying on? What's your strategy of spreading? How do you do that?
So there are many big players in the market already. And those big players have really more finished products, I would say, and maybe a bigger team. So if in case we want to compete with them, that was the main reason why we opted for Dehradun. because Dehradun was a new market. There were many schools in Dehradun. There are still many schools in Dehradun. It's an education hub, especially for a K-12 students, I would say. So we opted for Dehradun, and then we realized if in case, one thing is if in case you want to work in Uttarakhand. Second thing is if in case you want to get in the market in which you have many other giant players already working. So in these two cases, you have to do one thing. You have to create your face value. You have to keep meeting.
What does that mean?
You have to keep meeting people whom you want to convince. You have to make that environment in front of them that you are here, you will be here.
How do you make that environment?
So if in case you went to a school for with some proposal, you met them, you keep on meeting them rather than, so in Uttarakhand, it doesn't work like you met them and after that you keep following up on the WhatsApp or maybe emails. It doesn't work like that. You have to follow up again by meeting them.
But won't they get pissed off and say, why is this guy coming out again and again?
No. So definitely, if in case somebody is not showing any interest, and I'm that kind of person, if somebody is not showing interest, I don't go second time.
Okay.
I wait for them to call when they are interested. If in case somebody is interested, and if in case you get that vibes that yes, they are interested and they might be looking to some other companies as well in India, some other competitors as well in India, that's the time you should make your plan that you keep visiting again and again, keep showing your face, maybe something like that. Okay, ma'am, today we came in the nearby school, so we thought of meeting you as well and going. So it's just maybe take 5, 10, 15 minutes of yours, but they'll feel, yeah, this person is here always. He's around us always. And for a longer time, he's going to serve us. He's going to meet us. He's going to, it kind of trust you are developing.
Got it.
Because in Uttarakhand, as I told you, it's very difficult to reach most of the places. And if in that case, if you are able to reach again and again and again and again, so it kind of trust they develop. And also you have to, start creating yourself as one of them. You need to maybe adapt to their tone, adapt to their culture, start connecting with them. If in case you want to work, especially in Uttarakhand, I would say, or I would say any B town or C town, if you want to work, you have to get connected to them.
Right.
You adapt their culture, their tone and everything. You start making them feel comfortable about you. Then there are the higher chances of getting business.
So you're in a meeting. You've gone once, twice, thrice. You've got this idea that they may be interested and you're going in. My question is, in that meeting, in that moment, what is your superpower that, quickly convinces us? So that's the deal.
So if in case, there are the many things which I give for free. Like if in case I'm making a lab, if I'm setting up a lab, I design the lab with my own hands. I draw the entire room. I take some pics of the room. I draw the entire lab on a paper and I then give it to them. Any other company charges 50 to 60 or maybe more than that, thousands for that particular thing of designing their lab in a unique way. So that's the one of the X factors that I'm having. My each and every lab looks different. And these are the one of the best labs in India.
Right.
Wow. Anyone who is maybe from some, maybe one of the best schools in one of the best cities in India, when they visit any of my school and my robotics lab, they are very amazed with the infra, especially.
So you're saying as customized, right?
I customize.
You're saying it good quality labs.
Right.
What you're also saying is create some kind of gifts.
Yes.
Right? Which other people want.
And right.
And I hear you say that not only is it you getting that deal, but it is also you getting the deal over the bigger players.
Right. So why I want to do this thing now? So there are the many schools who don't even want this. They are already convinced and they want to. But in those cases also, I want to make my labs look very unique because these are the things which speak for me. anyone who is coming to that school will see the lab, and definitely I'm making my lab with the vision that anyone in the future visits this lab should do an inquiry that
What do you mean by unique? How do you make it unique? What are you thinking?
yes, the designs of the lab, the designs. So how would we know if in case we enter into a school, how would we know that there is a robotics lab in that school? There should be projects, there should be robots, maybe there should be, you walk through the staircase and there's some voice message coming, you are reaching to this floor and there will be this rooms on this floor designed by students, maybe automatic hand sanitizer hanging all over the school designed by students. The labs, or the rooms or any infra speaks a lot about how
Most companies don't do this.
no, most companies don't. So companies, so there's no other company in Uttarakhand. All the other companies are till now also all the other companies are working from maybe Delhi and Noida. So it becomes difficult for them definitely to provide these kind of services here.
So then I see that was another USP for you.
Yes.
That where the big companies are not willing to go.
Right.
They are not willing to go to Badrinath.
Right.
Who in the world is going to go to Bageshwar, for
Right.
example?
Right.
You say, my motorcycle, and
Yeah.
we're going to get there.
They'll work at that. So that's why that was the main reason we opted for Dehradun, because it was a new market. New market means that there is no other place in Uttarakhand. And also that the companies who already have worked in Uttarakhand, there are many other companies who have their labs in Uttarakhand. But what they do one-time setup, and they're not able to provide a regular services. That makes us different. Our schools which already have labs with us, they speak for us. Now we have moved to that particular level that now we don't have to convince schools. Already our existing clients are there to convince them because they are able to speak for us. Yes, these people keep coming regularly. They provide so and so stuff. They provide so and so support. Maybe the competition, national competition, international competitions. So I keep my finger crossed. There are the chances. I don't want to become like that, but as your work keeps on increasing, you try and expand more and more. There are the chances, if in case I was also working in some metro cities, it would be difficult for me to give the similar services in Uttarakhand. So I want to keep this USP always. That's why I'm still working only in Uttarakhand, because I don't want to lose that. The services part, one of the best services part. So that is something which is giving me the entire business. If in case if I get greedy, I can get many more schools in Chandigarh. I can get many more schools in Delhi, Noida. But
But you don't want to be Anil Ambani, you want to be Mukesh Ambani. And if you don't want to expand too fast,
right.
You want to take it tight.
Yes. Yes.
And then grow.
Yes. With so I want these that whichever school I worked with should be happy with me.
So, Prawal, what I hear you say also about this whole idea of constraining a little bit, a lot bit, is one part of your business model. You're not just saying expand just because I can, but going ahead with the plan, but some way restricting it to just Uttarakhand.
Right.
And that giving you a USP.
Right. So I definitely, if I really talk about working in Dehradun or maybe working in Chandigarh, which is hardly 3 to 4 hours from Dehradun. So it's a way bigger market, Chandigarh. Many more private schools. You can, if you just want a financial growth, you can do it much more easily in case if you're working in Chandigarh or maybe somewhere in Punjab or Delhi or Noida. But if in case you want to create some USP, if you want to create this kind of a value that now I'm in that stage that I worked in Uttarakhand, and now Uttarakhand is somewhere where if any other person, any other company from any other place in India will come, they have to face this thing that, okay, this market in case of robotics belongs to Makers Duniya. And now you have to somehow get over them, get over their values or maybe their services, and then only you'll be able to crack some
You
score.
become a big name by staying a small thing.
Yes, yes.
Stay small,
Right.
but you're growing the name in the small area, and then after that you can explore.
Yes, yes. So that's what my plans are. That once I'm able to, the way I work when I have been here in Uttarakhand, so I want to achieve that particular level that my team start working in the same manner, and then they don't need me anymore to work in the same way that we have been working till now. So I want my team to handle everything in exactly the same way which I was doing. And then I'll go out from Uttarakhand and then only I'll start working in some other
That's the
place.
next phase.
That's the next.
What's interesting, what I hear is not I'm never going to do it.
Hmm.
You say I'm going to do it, but before I do it, I need a few things in place.
Right.
I need my team fully functional, concrete, take care of everything on 1, 2, 3 parameters.
Right. I don't want that thing that, let's say, if you just for the financial benefits, I start working, I take some order from maybe Madhya Pradesh or maybe Gujarat or maybe Mumbai, and while focusing on delivering them, I spoil something which is in my base. So I want my base to be very strong and to always remain a strong. Maybe I'm ready to leave the business which is coming from other parts of the India, just because I want to really focus on my base. Once my base is very solid, very
Where is this thought process?
just natural, maybe. There's nothing planned like that, but yes, that's what I felt while I was in my starting phase when I was working. So most of the schools, when they were selecting me, just because there were some other companies who were not able to provide them services, they selected me only for that reason. So if I started doing the same, if I started maybe decreasing some services just for the sake of maybe more financial benefits in some other town, then what's the difference between them and me? So this was the USP I want to maintain it like that.
This will give an insight. This is going to answer that question, saying what is giving me the USP.
Right.
My USP is I want to have a
Yes, yes, yes.
So I think that's the guiding question.
Right.
And I think I've just made a list of the things that we're talking about. So, you're setting up a business, you're setting up a business in a B grade, sometimes in a C grade town. So how do I do it? Especially when there are a lot of big players, a lot of people turn away simply because they're saying there's too much competition. So what I hear is, I hear you say a couple of things, and I hear you not say a couple of things. So this is also an absence of something. What I mean is, first is figuring out what is my USP. And then letting that question, the USP being my unique selling point.
Right.
What am I unique about? How am I different from my competitors? Forget how big they are, but how am I different from them? So that's one. Two is, what can I give to my clients? Which a whole bunch of other people aren't giving.
Right. Right.
The third one is, what is my word of mouth? Right? How do I build my word of mouth? And I also say, trying to figure out what is my competition not doing, right? And finding those little spaces like an Airbnb, right? So there are these massive hotels and stuff, and then so Airbnb go to find certain sliver, okay, I can fit in there. So finding what are the biggies in the market, not go and do that, right? And then I don't hear you speak of, correct me if I'm wrong, which is absolutely not scripted, but I don't hear you say social media. So I'm sure you're doing some bit on social media,
Right.
but I am getting the idea that that's not your primary predominant strategy.
Right. So again, the reasons are the same. If in case I would be working in metro cities or also in a B town, then also social media works because the people are using it and they trust easily on something which they see on the social media. But it's not that case in C town. They might be using social media, they might be scrolling Facebook, YouTube and all, but they really don't trust something which they see as an option to buy something maybe from online or maybe that kind of thing. So it doesn't work. The social media doesn't work in I would say 95% of Uttarakhand social media doesn't work. You trying to sell your product on a social media, it won't work. You're trying to convince them on a social media, it won't work. Because that is something which anyone from any part of the India will be able to do in this exactly similar manner.
Going back to the same.
Yes.
Figure out what people are.
Right. So, in fact, somebody sitting in Mumbai or somebody sitting in Gujarat or maybe Bangalore would be able to do social media marketing much better as compared to me. So that is something which, if in case that would be working, I won't be able to fight to those players. I would be able to fight only in the physical presence. So I just focused on that, and that works. And
So if that works for you, great. But I think, there's also no arguing with that because you have matched 75 plus 76, you say.
right.
Labs. So I think there's no arguing with that. I want to change gears a little bit over here. Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned that Dehradun is about 10 years
And
behind Delhi.
right.
I don't know if people are going to like that or not. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? And how can it be a good thing, especially when you're setting up your own business?
Yes. So for me, definitely it's a good thing.
Okay.
When I say it's 10 years back as compared to Delhi or Mumbai. So the reason behind that is if we talk about the education system, if we talk about what skill sets we are focusing on, so we'll see a very huge difference. And why I'm talking this, why I'm saying all these things, because I've experienced this when I went to the college. And any student who is doing their school education from a very, like a normal private schools, who belongs to Dehradun, who are doing their school education in Dehradun, in a normal private schools, when they go for a college, and in the college, the real testing of your career starts in the college. Because when you are studying in a school, you are competing with the people, with the students who are in your class, maybe in your school, and they are also living in the same ecosystem. But when you go to the college, now suddenly you are competing with the people who are coming from different ecosystems, who had different resources available in their school days.
Some more, some a lot more.
Maybe a lot more, yes. And with them now, you have to fight for your entire career. So when I went for my college, that's the time when I realized that in my school days, I was doing nothing as compared to those guys who are doing in Delhi. They are doing coding from grade 1, grade 2. And they are using gadgets, they're using laptops. So in my time, so laptops were still very new. In 2012, 11, there were still very few students who were having laptops, very few. So all of those guys were having laptops. They were able to do n number of things on laptops. And now we have to compete with them in using the same gadgets for our own careers. So that's why when I said I'm really bad in coding, I never had an exposure to the coding in my school days. I didn't have computers. I studied computers only till grade 3, and I knew only about Paint till I came to the college for doing BTech. That's the difference.
Paint to BTech.
Paint to BTech. So in the BTech, when I got this subject, C++, CS, and we were supposed to do C++, it was over my head. I was not able to understand anything. And these guys were kind of very comfortable because they had these subjects during their school education and as in compulsory subjects. If in case, like in my case, when I was in grade 11 and 12, CS was there, but as an optional subject. And definitely the guy who is not been doing computers since grade 3 will, and not even having laptop or a desktop at their home. So I definitely was scared with the computers and didn't opted for CS. Rather than I opted for Hindi. And it's a big difference. If you're belonging to a technical background or your main subject in your grade 11 and 12 was Hindi. Mine was Hindi. So if in case that have been computers, maybe I would have been much better today. And that's the difference.
Is that the reason also why your institute, your organization also starts teaching kids at a young age coding and artificial intelligence, and robotics and 3D printing and roads and stuff?
Yes, so that is the reason. And so why we are focusing on these things, it might look very new in Dehradun, But trust me, this is something that I was doing in 2016, 2017 in Gurgaon in one of the academy. And I was teaching robotics and coding from LKG students.
Wow.
And still people, LKG, yeah, 4 or 5 years, students were coming to learn robotics. And yes, sir, and they were going to international competition by the time they were in grade 3 or grade 4. International robotic competitions in other countries. They were going Denmark and many other different places around the world for robotics competition by the time they were in grade 3 and 4.
So what are the options? Robotics is one, and coding is one.
Yeah, so when we talk about robotics, so robotic means making machines which can work automatically. So that is that's not possible without coding. So coding is a part of robotics, let's say. Automation, designing circuits which can work automatically. Drones, there's a huge market coming up for the drones. Artificial intelligence, making machines smarter to think and do on their own. So normally we have the machines. So the difference between a robot and a AI-powered robot is that a normal robot will do what you have told him to do. Like, okay, you said a machine to swipe a floor. It will swipe a floor. But AI-powered robot will detect when the floor is dirty and will swipe on its own. So that's the difference between AI-powered things and a normal thing. So AI-powered things are intelligent. They are going to detect everything. They are going to find out the solution and they are going to work on their own. While the normal machines do what we command them to do. That's the difference.
So tell me something, out of these sort of robotics, coding, artificial intelligence,
Right.
drone making, what would you say, maybe it's a stupid question, but what would you say is the most powerful in terms of the most opportunity out there for someone, let's say in Bangalore or in a big town, wanting to get their kid into something like this? Their kid, let's say an LKG level or grade 1 level, want to get that kid in. What do you think the future is going to go a lot more towards and taking into consideration that a person isn't there at home, studying at a young age?
So coding, any day.
Yeah?
Coding. If in case you know coding, you can do all these stuff, everything.
That's
you can do.
important.
Yes, coding. So when we talk about AI, that's because of coding.
Yeah.
All coding in AI. The backend is, whole thing is programming. You try and create robots which can do something on their own. Again, you need coding. You need to fly automated drones from one place to another on their own. Again, coding. You want to 3D print something. You want to design a 3D file. Again, coding. You want to create any automatic circuits. Again, coding. So coding is something which is required in everything. One more thing which you might need, if in case you want to develop your own products, some structures, maybe something like, let's say, drone or maybe some robot. So you also need to learn a little bit of mechanical engineering as well. So mechanical engineering, in short,
How do levers move?
how do simple machines work? How do motors work? Okay, and how you can easily move something from, let's say, how the aerodynamics work. So if in case you have this very good combination of a physics and CS, if you are really good in these two things, you can create anything in the world.
Wow.
Physics and
Yeah, so what I hear you say, so before I come to that, what I hear you say is also that it's not only, so to me, it's like a little bit of a balance or a dance. So on the one hand, people say get become a master in one thing, right? Because if you do too many things, then you're jack of all trades.
Right.
Then you're like, you're a master of none.
Right.
सब कुछ आता है, but you're not a master.
Right.
On the other hand, आप एक चीज पकड़ के एक चीज कर लिया आपने, ठीक है जी, the focus is over. But I'm seeing that you're also hinting at saying, okay, it's important to become good at one thing, but with that one thing, it's also important to combine it with a couple of other things. Right? Is that true? Not true?
This is very true. So you might be expert in something, or I wouldn't say expert. let's say you might be really interested in something. So if in case you're interested in something, definitely you'll follow it as your passion. But there are few things which are very important. If in case you're not interested in them, still you should know them, because with their combos, with the thing which you are interested in, you combine them and you can do something really great. So like in my case, not at all interested in computers and very, very interested in physics, a lot interested in physics. Anything which doesn't involve programming but has physics involved, let's say creating something with the motors, it's my passion. I used to work on it. But when I learned coding, now I make something using physics, I put a code into it, and that thing works automatically.
It's explosive.
Yeah. So anything. So let's say, for an example, you love riding bikes, but camping is your not favorite thing. But just in case you try camping someday, someplace you enjoy it. Now you can go for a bike ride, and now you are not bothered to reach at some particular destination. Wherever you feel like, you can camp and you can stay there. So that's a combination.
Give me some more examples.
Yes. So
It could be bikes also.
yeah, so best example in the recent time, which I'm working on, drones. So drones, normally the drones, I would say till last 5 to 6 years, the drones was something which totally had everything to do with physics. And they works on aerodynamics. So simply the motors moving, the weight should be very light, the dimensions should be equal, everything should be very balanced. So the physics concept which is working in the entire drone is, or anything which is flying or moving in on water, there's only one concept which is working: action and reaction. Newton's third law. Action and reaction. So the drone is doing the action, that it is forcing the air down, and the reaction is the air is forcing the drone to go up. Simple, one single law which is working. Now what we did, we made some controller and we developed this programming platform. And this programming platform enables you to just fix some coordinates on a map and press a button. Your drone will automatically go up, will go on those coordinates, will do the task which you have coded during that particular command, and return back to the same position and land on the same place, exact same place. So this is now,
This, right?
yeah, we have already made it, and it's also functional.
Yeah.
Still, it is in a I would say a testing phase. Yeah, testing phase. But we are able to do this entire thing which I spoke right now. You set up the coordinates, automatically it goes. So we have right now tested it to up to around 500 meters. So right now we are a little scared, so we are testing it till where we have our visibility.
Okay.
So we are not testing it to somewhere where we are not able to see it. So also there is very difficult to find a really large open area in Dehradun, because there's mountains and rivers flowing all around. So it becomes really difficult. So at one place, if in case you lose your visibility and something happens, so we won't be able to track it. So right now, 500 meters of range, we have tested it. It's working really good. So, so coming back to the point, drone is something which is pure physics. Now we merged it with computers.
Right.
Now the combination of both, automatic drone.
Wow.
You don't need a person to fly it. You don't need a remote to fly it. Everything automatic. That's because of computers.
So you okay? Take a little risk.
Yeah.
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 I've got some impromptu questions for you.
Right.
As you're writing them down, as you were thinking. So give me some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little hint. So I'm going to shout out something like an area. You tell me what are some combinations that you can get to that. All right.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
You're doing this.
Any example for this?
No example. We just started.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is video editor.
Okay.
Someone who's learned, let's say, Premiere Pro.
Right.
What's a good combo?
Yeah. So with the video editing, if in case you are able to with the video editing, if in case something related to marketing as well, if you are able to do it, so you are able to create videos as well. And the same client who is taking videos from you and then giving it to some marketing team will be able to directly deal with you. Okay, this is so why it works in a combo, very great in a combo, because whenever you create a video, any person who is creating a video, so client is giving an idea that I want so and so, and who is giving idea to the client? The marketing team. That this thing works, your video should be like this, it should be this seconds, and the first thing should be so and so that the customer get connected to the video. You are taking from marketing team and you are giving to the video editing team. If both these things are connected, they'll be able to do everything on their own. Very easy solution for the client.
And when you say marketing, you pick up a course like YouTube, be something like that. It's marketing.
Yeah, so I would say we are blessed in this case. We are really blessed because like I wanted to run programming. I simply went on a YouTube. I just selected one of the tutorials. It was an 8-hour tutorial. I kept on doing a half an hour, 15 minutes per day. Within a month, I learned programming. So you don't need to spend any penny if in case you want to learn anything in the today's world. You just need YouTube, you just need internet. Get onto it, try 15, 20 minutes per day, you will become an expert within a month in anything you want. Anything you want.
Okay, next one. So there's a kid, let's just say 6, 7 years old, right? Not very good in studies and all that, but very good in video games. Asking what's everyone wants to play video game. I'm very interested in learning about video games and stuff. So what's a good combo?
Yeah, so from the very early age, we start teaching them coding, and through coding, we start teaching them also game development. So the good thing is, if in case I directly give him some game to play, and on the other hand, I tell him to develop a game, as from the student point of view, he'll definitely say, I directly want to play the game. Now you want to convince him, no, we want you to develop the game on your own. We want you to teach how to make your own game. So what we tell them, that just imagine you are playing a game which has been developed by somebody else.
Right.
Just imagine you develop some game and you share it with your friends and your parents and your family members. Ki, this is my game. Maine banaya hai. Please play it. So that's a pride thing which we have to offer them as a grade. And now they are ready. Yes, I want to. And one game or a two game, when they make one or two game, they are very much interested. Why? Normally when they are playing a game, they are playing as per the rules of the game. When they are making their own game, they can make the rules as per their own. So they want an easy game, they can make an easy game.
And how young people?
1 year old. Grade 1, grade 1, grade 2. Grade 1 students are making games.
And this is something that you also teach people at Makers Duniya.
Yes. And grade 1 students, the students, the youngest kids who are coming here are grade 5. Age 5.
Age 5.
Yeah. So they do basic robotics. They do robotics with coding as well. They have done robotics with coding as well. Then they do proper coding where they learn to develop games. After this, they'll be doing a coding where they learn to develop apps, mobile apps, and it's MIT software. So it's a great platform to work, and you can make any kind of app which you want. So they learn to make their own apps. They also learn to launch these apps on Google Play Store.
So what I also hear you say is that there's a third aspect of the combo that you do. So one is the games, the coding, but then the minute you start to beat up on the Play Store, and that's commercial angle.
Right. So just in case if there are, I think the Google Play Store has something like a particular number of downloads. So once your downloads reach to that particular level, let's say 100 downloads, then they start giving you offer for ads, and for the ads they start paying you. So your app might be featuring few ads somewhere on the. So we normally when we use any app, we see few ads popping up down or bottom. So similar ads will pop up on your apps, and you'll get paid for that. More downloads, more stuff like that. So it keeps on increasing in that way.
And so is this apps or games as well? It's in Play Store.
Yeah, so with MIT software that we are teaching them how to make apps, in the same software you can make apps which are having games in them. It's just a normal game. Let's say if somebody wants to design a Ludo game, or maybe something like this SAP CD game or something like the basic games.
Right.
You can simply design those games, make an app of it, and launch the app on Google Play Store. And if in case there are good number of downloads, you'll also get paid for the ads which are featuring on your app.
Last combo.
Yeah.
So someone like me, I'm also from a very selfish perspective. Somebody like me running this podcast,
Right.
right? Talking to a whole lot of different people all around
Right.
Uttarakhand,
Right.
right? What's a good combination that someone like me can have?
Yeah. So you already, I guess you are already working with a lot of combinations of your own. So while you're taking interviews, you are also sharing those ideas with some other people. Like you shared some ideas of some other podcasts you might have done with me. So they are learning from me. And in the similar manner, so with these things that you are doing, you are also giving these ideas to other people that, okay, I had so and so interaction with that person. So that idea works really good for me also in case if I want to make some change. So you're just doing it for as per your own business. Maybe let's say you want to spread more awareness about new startups or anything related to new business. And meanwhile, you're also gaining for your own knowledge also you're gaining that yes, what steps I should also follow if in case I plan to run some other business maybe someday.
Right.
So whenever you plan to run anything of your own interest, any other business, or maybe your next generation, you want to make them do some business in the future. So you'll use these same skills that time. Yeah. So
From a learning perspective,
from learning.
and also for sharing.
Right. I'll also suggest you, just in case, because you are already doing, you are talking to so many people, just in case if something like any course maybe you can run for people who wants to run their own business, or maybe college students who want young entrepreneurs. So if in case you develop some course, that these are the things that you might have to follow just to become a successful entrepreneur. So there's very few things like these which are available. And if in case there are people who are offering it, they are charging a lot. So I think that can be, that is something that can be worked on because it's an additional skill for you as well. So based on whatever experience you have gained, you can make a course. And the similar way, I think we can inspire maybe next young generation with the help of it. That these are the things you have to take care about. Most probably your business will be successful on this. Right.
As we come to a close, as we come to it's closing time now. We've been talking for a while. I just have some rapid fire questions.
Right.
And those rapid fire questions are: what's your next goal? What are you going to do next?
Yes. So I've started making my own commercial drones, which I recently discussed about. So the next thing is I want to also when I'm focusing on these commercial drones. So why I'm focusing on these commercial drones? Because I want to integrate them with the current thing which I'm also doing. So I want students to make these same programmed commercial drones as well in the future. So whatever I'm doing, I'll be focusing on some government sectors, some private sectors, especially health department, disaster management department of Uttarakhand. And I want to I want my drones to be working for them, and I want similar kind of drones, how they are made, what are the things you have to take care, how you can make them better. I want to teach these things in my partner schools and other students who are coming in my academy also in future. So a very tech generation we want in the future. Yeah, kind of manufacturing. So currently I'm having most of the things which are service based. This will be the first thing which will be our own product and a manufacturing. So
What would the Prawal of 2023 tell the Prawal of 2016? What is
so, uh, so I would definitely say that still there's something in my heart that you could have worked harder and you would have become army officer. But yeah, still there. So whenever we look at the army, so there's always that pride. I wanted to live that prideful life, maybe for a shorter span, but I wanted to live it. So, but still, I'll encourage also that if in case, and this is the encouragement I want to share with each and every student, if in case you plan something for the most part of your life, if you are not able to do that thing, there's way more or maybe better which is lying ahead for you. There's never end to your desires, and if in case they are not getting filled, and never get disappoint, many more better things are waiting for you.
whether it's girl or a guy, don't get fixated on one. If that's not coming, then
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes. Right.
What you're getting fixated on, if that's not coming, there are many more out there.
Many more.
There's perhaps something better.
So, like, I belong to Kota, Rajasthan, and we have seen students committing suicide from the very early age. We have been listening to those news. And this year also, there have been many news of suicide. So, the students go for coachings for IITs and NEET over there. And with the family pressure or whatever the conditions being, they commit suicide if in case they feel that they are not able to. But I would really say that, like, in my life, for the first time I went in depression was in grade 11. When I was at one position, one really a position from where you can see maximum part of the Kota. I was doing my schooling in Kota, but I never did any coachings. So from that part of that point where I can see most of the part of the Kota, we used to see every single hour lots of students coming out of the building and then again going into the building. So it was like you're throwing a stone in a honeycomb, and there's so many people coming out, maybe eating something or maybe going somewhere, and then everything used to go settle down. And I used to feel that there's so many students, so many of them, my age group, they are doing coachings. They might be definitely better than me because they are doing coachings. I'm not doing anything. What's my future is about? And that's the first time I felt what is depression. Like, I started feeling like I am really behind. I'm behind among so many people whom I can see right now in front of my eyes. They are doing coaching. All afternoon they are going to take the classes and they are getting more knowledgeable as compared to me. I'm doing nothing. But see the future. So future has
What do you say?
yeah. So if you want to come out of a depression, the best part, you play a sport. A sports person, I don't think a sport person, maybe some politics on a very high level can get a sports person into a depression. But a sports person really gets into a depression because the reason why I was not doing coaching, I was very much interested in basketball. I was a national player of a basketball. So for me, if one thing I'm getting depressed, maybe next hour I'm playing my favorite sport, so everything goes.
No, I would have thought that you would have responded to that question saying, no, go read a book, with some motivational speech, go listen to somebody, talk to somebody, get some therapy, whatever. But what you have something completely different, which I don't think is too many books either. It's a good sport, man.
Play a sport. If in case you're a sports person, in any sport you may be, it may be a indoor, maybe outdoor, maybe a badminton, or maybe if in case you're if in case you're a sports person, especially a team sport, maybe a doubles of a badminton, tennis, football, basketball, cricket, any team sport, if in case, you have 90% of skills already developed inside you. You have team leader skills, maybe you have team how to work in a team skill, okay, coordination skill. There are many skills, they are naturally developed inside you if in case you are a sports person. So if in case, like every young person, I'll suggest, study as much as you want. Do whatever in your life you want, but please play any single sport. At least any one single sport seriously for your life.
Right. I'm thinking of a few people that I know in my life. People who are actually been successful in terms of money, right? But they've gotten to, they've got middle age and all that. But either they're very unhappy, or a lot of them are not finding meaning in what they're doing.
Right.
And they're not focusing. Perhaps one of the reasons is that they're not focusing on other things. Keeping this body inhabiting healthy, low exercise. And sport is such an amazing.
Yes. So, especially if it's your one of your favorite sports, you are not able to leave it. Like in today's time, if in case I'm not finding a lot of time to do my other stuff, still I try and figure out some time for playing basketball. So if in case it's very favorite to you, if you see some guys playing, if you are connected to a particular group of people who are still playing, then you are not able to resist yourself. It automatically, it's like something like drugs, I would say. The sports are something like drugs. If in case you have some favorite sport, it's hard to resist yourself from not playing it. And so many advantages. So many advantages.
Well, what's the worst piece of advice you've ever got?
Maybe I might have ignored it. I don't remember anything like that. But if in case it was something which I've already implemented and then I felt it's worst, or
You do. Yeah.
so 99%. Everyone wants to give you advices in India. Everyone wants to advise you. And I'm a kind of person I would definitely say I'm a very good listener. I listen everything I listen, but I do what I feel on my own. So everything, I never cut anyone. If in case somebody is giving me advice, I'll listen to him. Very peacefully, I'll listen to him. I'll also make him feel like, yes, I'm going to follow it. But if in case I feel it should be done or something which should be done, then only I'll do. One really bad advice, or I would say, so last to last year, I opened my academy in one of the residential places for a year, for the entire 1 year. I paid a good amount of rent, and because it was a residential area, it was very difficult to get crowd over there because like the commercial area, people are coming and going, they're watching you, becomes easy. So that entire year, when hardly 2 or 3 students in a whole year we got, and good amount of rent we paid. That was the one, not a advice, but a bad trap which I got into because of my other 2 friends who also wanted to run their own business in one of the other rooms of that residential property. So that was something. But yeah, after that, when we shifted here, it was not better.
What's the best piece of advice?
Yeah, so again, one advice that I really feel is very good and I want to work on it in the future is that I want multiple academies or setups around there, Radhan. Because what we feel like, because we are working with very young generation, and young generation can't come on their own. They have to be dropped by the parents or by somebody elder. So there are many students who wants to come, and many parents who wants to come, but maybe we are not near to them. So there are many people who demand or maybe this is demand of the market also. And there are a few people who have advised me also that I should have my academies in many more other places, maybe one or two more places in Dehradun. So that is something we'll be looking for in the future.
As we go, Prawal, any last messages?
Yeah, so most of the messages I've already delivered, but the messages will be always for students. So as I already mentioned, try and get skilled in most of the things, as many as things you possible. Maybe personality development, maybe dance, maybe music. I'm not just talking about coding or these things. As many skills. You might become expert or you might become interested in any one skill, but it's not like that. It's like I'm like my favorite skill is cooking, but cooking, like, that will be my future option. I might have a cafe or a restaurant in future, but that that is something which I want to invest. After earning from here, I'll invest and I'll go for my interest. So in the similar manner, you might be interested in something, and there are many people who will advise you that do something which you love, but it really doesn't work that way in the real world. You have to do something which gives you bread and butter. After earning from that thing, now it's a time you invest in something that you really love. Because from the start, if in case, let's say I would have planned, like let's say I want to make a career in basketball. Only if I would have focused, okay, this is my interest, I love this. And if in case you fail, then you have nothing to, like, you're lost. So it's better you get skilled, earn from something which is really good in the market, develop your skill regarding that, and now from those investment, from that you invest into something that you are interested. Because whenever you do something which you are interested in, it will definitely give you a mental peace. This will give you a financial peace. So both the peace are required. Oh yeah, mental and financial both are required. So that's how it
This
is.
is what you've done in your life.
Right.
You know, when we started the conversation, what you were talking about is, so for me, it's like, how do you do something you love? To me, this is answering that question, because, you know, when you start talking, you say how you start teaching first. You know, and maybe that's something that you like, but maybe that's not something that you're ready to do passionate about. And then you give it to this.
Right.
When I asked you the question, you know, like, without taking from an investor, without taking from family, you started something. So it's not just what it said, then got up with this.
Right.
Give you something that you love. And now you're going towards something that you love even more. Perhaps.
Right.
Cooking. You later on.
Yeah.
So I also hear you say that don't kill or don't let go what you love.
Right.
Build first what you are doing. You know, if I like it a little bit, there is some scope in the market, I can make my money from here, take that money, and then do the thing that you like.
Yeah. So just in case, like, I would definitely say there might be some percent of people who might be blessed that whatever they are interested in, they might be earning very good from that particular thing only.
God bless.
But that's not the ideal case. You can't just think about, okay, I just love this particular thing, I'll definitely make career in this thing. Just in case if that thing is not in demand in the market. Let's say if I want to, I really love designing dresses, let's say. If in case my dresses doesn't sell, then so your interest might be very good for you, mental peace for you. There are the chances might fail in the market then. So if in case you are skilled in more things, you will definitely earn from a skill which is really required in the market
To fuel
your interest or your passion.
I mean, a lot of times I hear people say, this is not what I want. You've just dragged me. So society says dragged me. Or my parents have just dragged me to karna nahi chahta hu, karna nahi chahta. Right. My real thing is something else.
Right.
Right. Don't do that something else. But if you did that something else right now, take a call and you know we're ready. Big payoff. Not. And if it's not, then do what you have right now.
So see, the market, the family, the conditions will always drag you. You can't run from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if in case you're born in a silver spoon family, then maybe you can live your life the way you want, but only the time till you have those bank balances coming up for you. What about your future generation then? So we don't live in Western countries as of now. In India, still we have to bother about our future generation and our previous generation as well. We have to take care about both. And in that case, we are going to be dragged by society and the conditions and market requirements, because if in case in 90s, 80s, I think 90s, 80s, 70s, the computers came for the first time in India. People were reluctant. They were not able to cope up with it. They were feeling like the jobs will go. There were a lot of strikes. There were a lot of things happening all around India in against of using computers. But that is something which is a requirement of the market, and it came. Right. It's there. Everything is on computer now. Similarly, in the very near future, I can guarantee you in the next 10 years, everything will be AI.
Yeah.
Everything will be AI.
So it's pretty much
Everything. I'm saying, if in case right now we need a marketing person, a AI software will do everything for you. You just have to fill some specification, everything automatic. You won't need a marketing person in next 5 to 10 years. 5 years maximum, you won't need a marketing team or marketing person. In next 5 years, you won't need a video editing person. If next 5 years, you might not need teachers in the schools. Maybe some structure, maybe some robotics teacher will come, they will deliver the lectures. Next 5 to 10 years, many things will be overtaken by AI. Now, if in case you are reluctant, no, this is not my field. I'm not interested. So, well, like me. Society, market, these are going to drag you. You have to cope up with them. Your interest might be in something else, but still you have to do something to become at least a stable person in the society, and then you invest in your interest. Simple as that.
it's a lovely way to close.
Right.
So nice to grow. Thank you so much for taking time. I learned so much. I learned so much. I learned about the combinations and how to do that. I learned about how to start up a business in Uttarakhand and Dehradun. That word of mouth sometimes is bigger than the digital space. How constrain yourself not to go expand like crazy. Then kids at a very young age, if they get into something like this, many more opportunities.
Right.
Talk about lots. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.